Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy, Nate Weitzer, on the East Coast. And we are looking at playa props here, Nate, for Game 2 of these NBA Finals. We had some wonky stuff happen in Game 1. We talked all about it in our other game video, so make sure you are liked and subscribed. Continue to follow along with us with each and every Finals game here with a props video such as this one, as well as that game video breakdown. Also want you to head to thelines.com, all that great written content and stuff we are talking about here. Nate and company have up on thelines.com. Great stuff there as well. And if you do need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as the playa props we have for tonight, for Sunday in Game 2. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, things have shifted considerably in the series markets. First of all, I mean, Steph goes from plus money as the leading scorer in the series to minus 300. He goes to minus 430 as the leading three-point shooter from plus, and Tatum goes from plus 425 to lead it in assists to minus 140 as the huge favorite. But we are starting with Steph because, yeah, as I said, he tipped the market a lot more. He got going in the first quarter thanks to some terrible defensive decisions by the Celtics, miscommunications, just letting him get open shots. And all of a sudden it looks like Steph Curry's winning the finals MVP, even if the Warriors lose this series. Like, he's just going to carry his team. I don't know if he cares about the legacy talk as much as but yeah, to a degree, he definitely wants to win a ring in the post-Durant era, whatever you want to call it. And he's going to be locked in. I mean, that momentum, you don't want a great shooter to see the rim like that. And it's going to carry over into the second game too, without changing stadiums. So he's getting plus money here to hit 5 threes, plus 120 on DK. It's not even quite as good at FanDuel, but as much as the Celtics are going to try to chase him off the line here, we saw a couple times late in that game where he was chased off the line and still stepped back and got a good look and barely hit front rim. You know, those shots are going to go down at times. I think he's going to hit 5 threes at least. I mean, he hit 6 in the first quarter in Game 1. And his points prop climbing up to 29.5 now at plus money. I like just combining with the rebounds because we think there's going to be a little regression shooting from both teams here. You only have to tack on about 4 rebounds to get him at 34 points and rebounds. And he's been averaging, he has 5 at least in I think his last 6 playoff games. And you look at his numbers after a loss, he does certainly give himself the green light even more. After they lost against Denver to close them out, he went 30 points on 5-11 from 3. And in that closeout against Memphis, 29 and 7 rebounds, shot 6 for 17 from 3. So he is more than willing to try to shoot his team back in it.
Yeah, I think you're going to get those for him tonight. I love the 4.5 threes. I love the 30. I love the 28.5 points and the 33.5 points and rebounds. Fine with all of it. I think he gets the 30 tonight and the threes. I think he does care about legacy, and I think he does want a Finals MVP. But the point is, if you're getting him at plus 120 on DraftKings for 5 threes, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that. It's not that's not fishing at all. So I'm going to go with his main counterpart, not his splash bro, but his other, let's call him the enforcer and the quarterback, really, in a way, on offense in terms of Draymond. We both agree. It just feels like a Draymond game here tonight. Over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined feels a little bit low for him. The 16.5 rebounds and assists, that it doesn't necessarily scare me, but with the assist with him, if you don't necessarily think there's going to be quite as many points in this game, you might be a little bit worried about just the assist there. But the rebounds as well, if you wanted them, I mean, it's only minus 145 for him to get 8 boards, because I think that's pretty likely. The DK special I know you like here, and I might let you talk about for a little bit more, is 10 points, 8 boards, plus 225. I'm not opposed to it at all, because I do like the 10 points there. I think he missed. They're going to continue to give him those bunnies that he missed, and I think there's the likelihood that he misses another 4 layups like he did in that game. Even if like 2 or 3 of those layups were like contested pretty well at the rim, still a layup, man. Like, he can still be making these even in those threes as well, 0 for 4. But if he's able to just make one of those, we're well on our way to 10 points for him. So all of that stuff, I think, makes sense. And at home in the playoffs, he's averaging 24 points, rebounds, and assists combined on just 31 minutes. He played 38 in Game 1, and I think you can continue to expect him to get closer to 40 minutes than 30 for the rest of this series.
Yeah, and you look at when he gets those 38 minutes, he does definitely get over that 22 PRA. You look at his numbers after a loss, just like Steph, he went for 17, 6, and 9 to close out Dallas. He went for 14, 15, and 8 to close out Memphis. It was a cumulative plus 30 in those games. It feels like a Draymond game, yeah, because he's got to take a lot of responsibility for that fourth quarter on his own as the quarterback of a defense. Did not have anybody organized or able to counter what Boston's doing, and I think he'll put his fingerprints all over this game. Yeah, you mentioned that special. If you do tack on 8 assists, it's plus 700, which is juicy. A little scary against the Celtics team that allows basically the fewest assists at all, but I think he will be quarterbacking on both ends, and there's a chance he piles it up. Maybe even goes for a triple-double here. That's the way he impacts this game. But I like your call. Yeah, 10 points does seem reasonable in this game too, as Boston lets him go, basically, because that was their adjustment. Like, let's stop sagging off Curry. Let's sag off Draymond Green. At the same time, Rob Williams is going to be a problem if he's out there trying to get score in the paint. They only allowed 26 points in the paint to the Warriors. Williams only played 24 minutes, so a lot of that is Horford. But the point is he looked spry, and he put up 8, 6, and 4 in those 24 minutes. Again, giving the Warriors a taste of their own medicine with that bang lob play to him, which I think is going to be there for him in terms of getting his points. So 14 points plus rebounds is his prop. If you want to focus on the defensive end, you can get minus 110 for him to get 3 steals or blocks, which is something he's done in 3 of his last 4 games, the exception being Game 7 against Miami, where his knee swelled up. Extra rest in this series is going to be huge for him because he just couldn't go every other night in these previous series. Yep. But when he could go, I mean, he 24 blocks in these last 3 rounds. It's just an insane rim protector. The Warriors are going to be forced off the 3-point line. That's the Celtics adjustment. And so you go right into Rob, who's probably going to get a finger on a lot of shots. And then I'll just mention his market isn't really up yet in full as we record the day after Game 1. But Derek White is plus 300 to hit 3 threes. He's getting about plus 300 to average 15 in the series. We just think he's going to continue to get so much run as the Celtics need to go 2-guard lineups to deal with Curry. And he's just brimming with confidence right now on the offensive end. He's going to continue to fire away. So look for his props when they come up. If he's only about 10 points or something, I would definitely hit that.
Yeah, I'm just going to play off of that for a minute and say, I do with the Derek White, sort of the fact that we think he's going to continue to get minutes, especially because of his defense. I also think that's going to impact Marcus Smart's ability to preserve his energy for offense, which is something we talked about before Game 1, was his props, which are at the exact same spot, which he hit easily, got about 4 or 5 more points than his prop, the assists, the rebounds, all of those combined, the 3-pointers. He hit 4 of those. It was at 2.5 for plus money, still in the same boat for plus money of 2.5 for him in this game. So I think Marcus Smart, one fear that was brought to my attention by another friend, in betting in the industry was watch out for Marcus Smart not having the ability to, conserve his stamina for offense if he's chasing Steph around. And I was kind of like, I'm not worried about it, as if you look back at his game log against Steph, the last 6 times they played, he's covered all of those props that he has that they set for him in Game 1. So obviously it wasn't affecting him there. I didn't even consider the fact that if Derek White's going to be spending about 4 minutes a game guarding Steph on his own as well, including about 4 minutes worth of that, 2 minutes in the fourth quarter alone guarding Steph was Derek White, then that does leave plenty of opportunity for Marcus Smart to be standing wide open, basically as he was a couple times for 3, and knock him down and even hit some big, some covered ones. So I like both of those. I also just want to say, as I said in the game video while I'm on the C's, that I do like Tatum. I am going to once again take him to get over his points total in this one after going for the measly 12 points that he had in Game 1. Last time he had 12 or 10 points in the playoffs. Last 3 times 30 points. So that's my last point there, and I'm not afraid of that one. But finishing with our final 4th guy here that we talk about, Nate, Andrew Wiggins, going back to him because I think he was talked about as an X factor, and he's not going to be. He's the wing that is a staple at this point, right? Like he's going to be in there, especially because his defense, he's Mikal Bridges at this point, right? Like that's who Andrew Wiggins is. He's an incredible defender, so he's going to get the 38 to 40 minutes, that you expect from starters, or at least 35, right, for the rest of this series, as he did in game one, where he had 20 points and 5 boards. So I start with his points and rebounds, 22 and a half. He was only 2 of 7 from 3, which I think is something, if he's going to take 7 threes a game or continue at least around there, like I'm happy to take the points as well at 16 and a half. And yeah, for him against the C's, he's someone who has to be in there with his size and the combination of Brown and Tatum. He's always going to be on one of them, probably Tatum, right? And so that allows Draymond to do what he does. But I think you can continue to expect Wiggs to also just be the beneficiary of, if there's some form of, 2 of the 3 splash bros on the floor with Wiggins, he's always going to get, be the beneficiary of the second pass from Draymond after a pick and roll or what have you. So you got to like the usage for him, the minutes, and the fact that he's going to continue to find some open shots with the attention mostly on other guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, the minutes are the key for Wig, and it's kind of an underrated rebounder. I think he was leading the Warriors in rebounding in that last series. So yeah, when you can tack on
in the playoffs
altogether, yeah, when you can tack on 6 boards, lose a little bit of odds, but still get much more safety, because he could go for 8 rebounds or so. I like that. When you look at, he has had success scoring on Boston in the regular season. And there's so much attention on Steph. Like, his percentages were so tied to Steph in the regular season, right? When Steph was out, he couldn't get an open shot. And then all of a sudden he's shooting like 40% from 3 because they're just wide open. And those second chance opportunities in game one left him wide open. So expect him to knock down. He even had a couple wide open ones he didn't hit. So expect him to continue to score about 20. And that's another guy to consider, averaging 20 in this series. Worth a look at plus money as he continues to try to do the thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes he's probably going to have a Wiggs kind of game at some point, at least, especially if this goes, 6-ish or 7 games. That's more opportunity for him to throw a stinker out there and kind of ruin his averages. But I do think the 20 that he scored in game one was not a fluke at all. And you can continue to expect that from Wiggins. So that is all the time we have for you in this Game 2 player props video. Make sure you are liked and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us during these NBA finals. And until we see you next, happy betting.